This is Kevin Martin coming to you with the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program, and I wanted to give you a quick update about the Census of Agriculture. So every 4 years, USDA does a Census of Agriculture, and the 2017 data has been made recently available. We see some trends in our industry that sort of reinforce what we already knew, but helps to start to quantify what the impact of recent structural changes in the market were, and the low prices and cancellations, and how that impacted our region locally and also nationally. So New York State lost 6,000 acres of grapes, and 5,000 of that was lost here locally. To give a little perspective in that, we were also up almost 5,000 acres from 4 years prior. So if you look back to 2012, things look pretty negative. If you look back to 2007, we're holding on pretty much to 31,000 acres in the region. There are some trends that might be obvious to some local growers. That acreage has definitely moved around, and you can see it showing up in the county census data. What I mean by that is there is more acreage in Erie County, Pennsylvania, and our outlying areas in New York have suffered a disproportionate amount of the challenges related to marketing and growing in adverse weather conditions. So Niagara County, New York looks like it has probably shrunk very dramatically in Concord. So the acreage has not declined a lot, but we see an increase in wine grape acreage. Erie County, New York, and Cattaraugus County, New York, both see not necessarily substantial declines in terms of the number of acreage, but as a percentage of their overall industry and the acreage as a percentage, it has declined substantially in the last both 4 and 8 years. Consolidation is sort of the law of the land when it comes to agriculture, and it does appear as though this happens faster when there is market turmoil. So what we see is a pretty dramatic decrease in the number of growers, so much so that despite some of the acreage loss, we continue to see increasing farm size. So we've lost more farmers than we have acreage, and the average farm size has gone up quite a bit. There were 794 vineyard operations in 2012, and there were 960 in 2002, and we are now down to 582. So in the last around 15 years, we've lost almost half of our growers, and since 2012, we lost over 30%. That being said, our average farm size is still pretty much below 50 acres. It is above 50 acres in Erie County, Pennsylvania, but as a whole, we still remain very small when you look at our averages. Obviously, there's a few large farms that do control a lot of the acreage that the industry has, so we are divided between very small and very large growers. But this is definitely kind of a strategic risk to the area, because we don't want to get so small that we don't have the resources available to us. So hopefully we can see that trend at least slowing as we continue to see consolidation, because it is a little bit inevitable that we'll start to see that 45-acre vineyard size creep up to, I would say, at least 60 acres over the next I guess I don't know. Over the next 5 to 20 years, I think it really depends on where the market goes, and we'll see this consolidation continue to be rapid when prices are low and slow down when prices are better. That's about all I have to say for the sort of the real big picture takeaway from the NASS survey. It does sort of reflect that the last 4 years have been very difficult, but put into context of the last 17 years, 20 years, our acreage does continue to hold at 31,000, 30,000 acres in that area. So that's a really positive takeaway that I did not necessarily expect. And obviously we have to continue to work through consolidation as our farms grow, and we try to maintain a number of farms that in a way that we want to, so we can have the resources available to do custom work and things like that. So that will continue to be an ongoing challenge going forward. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us or comment down below. We'd be happy to answer anything you want to throw at us through this podcast or individually. Thanks for joining me.